Hi everyone, today we're building a thrift store and bubble tea shop for the main street in Willow Creek, and it will be part of my new Sims 4 save file that I've been working on. And I really wanted to start with a thrift store and boba shop because I love that it's multi-purpose right off the bat, and it serves as two different lot functions, and all of the main street shops and builds that I've made for this save file are multi-purpose. So this build also has a stage and party area out back because I think that'll be really cute for storytelling. I can see myself adding in some custom content, drums and other instruments in my personal gameplay, and having my Sims band that's just starting out play a gig there, or having a party outside during the summer. So this lot is pretty versatile, which is what I really like. This is the first build that I've made for this new save file, but as I'm recording this, I've actually made a lot of good progress on Willow Creek. I have this main street strip nearly done, a summer festival in the 50 by 50 park lot that comes in the base game, and I'll be making a version of that for all 4 seasons because I love having seasonal festivals in my game, and a lot of the houses are finished as well. I'll be adding in a bunch of townies that I've made, and recently I've been taking a bunch of my CC Light townies with very minimal custom content and making them totally CC free, and I've uploaded a few of those families to the gallery, and as I convert more of them to be no CC, I'll add even more of them. And all of the builds that I do for this save file will be on the gallery too, just because I know some people may not want to download the whole save file, or especially for console players, they can't download save files, so I want everyone to be able to download these lots. I have really been enjoying all the videos I've been making recently, but over the past few weeks I've been really inspired to build, and I'm just kind of riding that wave right now. That's just what I've really been having fun doing, and it's all coming out really cute in my opinion. So just working on a save file that will hopefully be up for download in the future, and it's going to be all my own builds and Sims obviously, and I'm planning on doing this with no custom content. Obviously I'm free to change my mind or do something different if I decide, but as of right now, yeah, I'm hoping for this to be a CC free save file, or at least have a no CC option if I do make a version with a little bit of it. I was a little bit hesitant to announce that I'm working on a save file because I have no official date of when I'll be releasing it. It could take me only a few months, or it could take me a lot longer, I don't know, but some of the builds I will be releasing early, including this build, because I'm making a speed build of it, so it's fun to be able to download it, obviously. A lot of the builds that I've made, I just didn't feel like recording. There is something more, I guess, therapeutic about building without having to worry about moving the camera and flipping it a million times. Like, I can do that. I'm just building by myself, and not always like having to check and make sure that I'm still recording or anything. I am planning on recording some more of the builds though, and I know that I will be recording all of the Magnolia Promenade lots that I do because I already started that mini build series, and I plan on releasing my save file with all of Willow Creek done and Magnolia Promenade. And Magnolia Promenade is literally just an extension of Willow Creek, so it honestly makes sense anyway. I'm honestly a little bit surprised that I started with Willow Creek though, because I feel like that's where a lot of people start, but something about how simple and moldable it is makes it so nice to build in. There's also so many nice sections to work on, like Main Street and each of the distinct small neighborhoods, and I really want to have another section of the world be community lots as well, because I think that's really fun to have a lot of places to go visit rather than a few places to go and a bunch of houses. So we'll see what I end up doing with that. I'm also planning on hopefully using my high school that I typically use and that I showed off in my high school CC Essentials video, and just converting that to be CC free, but We'll see. I may end up just building a new one because that one I built with CC in mind, but I really like the layout of that high school, so we'll see if I can bring myself to take out all of the custom content and add in more in-game content. I think that'll be cute. We're just missing a lot of the small stuff and details that really make a high school feel realistic that I just rely on custom content for at this point. So yeah, I could end up just making a whole different school, but my plan is to hopefully convert that and include it in my save file. I've been trying to think about whether or not I want to do all of the worlds in my save file. Obviously that would take a lot of time and I would definitely release them world by world, not try and do all of them at once, but there are certain worlds with more distinct build styles that I just don't know if I'm as interested or comfortable in building myself. For example, I love Mount Komorebi. I think it is gorgeous and one of the best worlds we have in The Sims 4, but I don't know if I'm the best at that very distinct build style. Like, I always just download other people's amazing lots for Mount Komorebi, but maybe at some point I will, because it is fun to challenge myself to try a whole new build style from what I'm used to. It just also scares me that I wouldn't have to just challenge myself with one build in that style, but I'd have to do the whole world for it, so we'll see. I know that I plan on doing Willow Creek, obviously, and Magnolia Promenade, and Oasis Springs, Newcrest, and Copperdale for sure, because those include the base game worlds, and for all of those, I actually already have some builds made that I would want to include in my save file, so that's a bit easier, and I'm pretty confident that I'll also do Granite Falls, Glimmerbrook, Sulani, Windenburg, but I don't know if I'll end up doing every single world. Again, maybe at some point I'll work on them, but it's a lot of work building lots for every world, making townies and making it all cohesive, so this is probably just going to be a work in progress for a very long time. I'm now working on the interior of the boba shop, and I wanted it to feel somewhat simple and realistic and not super, like pristine. Like, this place has been around for a while and it's kind of a staple of the community. Like, people come here to hang out in the boba shop, they get their drink and sit down to study. And upstairs, I have a projector movie screen from the Little Campers kit, and I also have a photo booth upstairs, since this feels like a teenager or early young adult mostly place to hang out, even though obviously everyone of all ages are welcome to come and hang out here. And I also included a bubble blower on the balcony upstairs just because I think that's cute for a bubble tea store to have a bubble blower. When I was in college, I had a boba shop that I used to go to all the time to study, and one of my best friends worked there, so sometimes I'd get free boba and it was a vibe. And honestly, it didn't look like this place because it was just one story, but I was channeling it a little bit in terms of the energy because so many college students went there to hang out, and that's what I kind of imagined for this place as well. They had like arcade machines there. I don't know if they ever worked, but I know a lot of people would bring their Nintendo Switches and play video games there, and I kind of wanted this to feel like a place with a lot of activities like that. So there's a games table upstairs so you can play cards and all that kind of stuff if your Sims want to come here with their friends and do that. I have a lot of memories at that boba shop though. Like, I would go and sit in there for legit like 6 to 8 hours and work on a paper the whole time if it was due the next day or something and I hadn't started it yet. Specifically, in one of my psychology classes, I had the hardest and longest length paper that I ever wrote in college, and I just sat in there suffering my way through that paper trying to understand what I was meant to be writing because I had skipped a lot of those classes in a bit of a depressed era, and then when it came time to write the paper, I was a mess, but I think I got a pretty bad grade on it, but I had done well on most of the assignments in my class. Like, I had a high A all semester, and then that paper dropped me to a C. I think my only C in college, maybe like one other class, but I needed a C to pass and not have to take that course again, so I was like, hey, I'll take it. I also remember one time I had posted on my Snapchat story that I was at that boba shop, and this person that I don't think I was seeing them at the time, I think it was beforehand, they just showed up like 20-30 minutes later with their roommate and were like, hey, oh my god, you're here, even though their roommate had seen my Snapchat story, and I was like, bruh, you ain't slick, I know why you're here. That was so funny to me at the time. And I never dated that person, but I think we just liked each other on the low, so at that point, so funny memories to look back on. I also added in a lot of posters and like artsy decor because a lot of boba places like this kind of have that poster and anime aesthetic. I have two main boba shops near me now, and one has a major anime theme, like a giant anime mural outside and posters inside, and some of their drinks are named after anime characters too. And the other is like a blasting K-pop type of place, and it's really cute though, and it also serves Vietnamese food. Like, they have a really good banh mi, so this place is kind of inspired by all the boba shops that I have frequented in my life. And that kind of brings me back to making this save file. I want it to feel very authentic to my life and also my Sims gameplay style. Like, personally, I love multi-purpose lots, and so I am including a lot of them. And I also want it to feel like places that have been impactful to me. Obviously, some places will just be cute places I want my Sims to visit, but yeah, I just want to put a lot of thought and care into these lots and have them feel like they have a lot of history and personality wherever I can. So far on this Main Street strip, I have a sports bar, a library, a small restaurant, a formal dress boutique, a diner, a gym, and I'm working on the last lot that's going to have a nightclub, photo studio, and a cupcake shop. And I think that's gonna be so cute, and there's gonna be a lot to do here, so I'm so excited to show you guys when it's done. I'll probably do a save file update maybe in a few weeks as I make more progress before I officially release it, but we'll see. If I'm close to being finished at the point where I'd make the update, then I may just wait until the world is finished, but yeah, as I work on more builds, I'm sure I'll be updating you guys as I go because I think it's just so fun to talk about the progress and the story and everything involved. I also really want to have a few different dance studios in my save file just because I personally love that gameplay. And if you saw my ballet mod review video I made a little bit ago, I'm still working on finishing that build in Windenburg, but I think it would be cute to maybe have a small town ballet studio in Willow Creek. And this is kind of where I was thinking it would be fun to have custom content optional version where I could include a few gameplay items like that, and I'd still have the no CC version, but it wouldn't have the ballet gameplay options, so it wouldn't hit as hard, you know? So I am thinking about doing that and uploading a no CC version of the build, and one that includes just those gameplay items. But I'm gonna try really hard to avoid any unnecessary custom content, like no build CC or cast CC, unless it's something that I make specifically for this save file, like if I made a custom sign or poster or something like that, but no, you know, CC windows or doors or anything like that, even though it would probably be so pretty to use them. I absolutely love build custom content and cast custom content, but I don't want to put anything unnecessary for people to download into this save file. I'm now moving on to the thrift store side of the build, and I had a lot of fun making this place look kind of grimy and older, but still really cute. I was just kind of placing stuff everywhere, and obviously all of the items there are more for the aesthetic since you can only buy clothes here, but every thrift store that I go to has furniture as well as clothes, so I thought that would be cute to include. When I was in high school and college, because my college apartment was only like 30 minutes from the house where I grew up, so a lot of the places kind of overlapped, but there was this iconic thrift store for me. I was one of the first ones of my friends in high school to get my license, so I would drive my friends and I to this thrift store in my mom's car, and we would go thrifting all the time. And this was before the prices got way crazier, so we could go in and buy like 10 clothing items for like $30. It was awesome. And it definitely contributed to some very questionable clothing choices, but it helped me to learn what I like and don't like in clothes, so. Now, I rarely ever buy clothes for myself. I just kind of stick to what I have because I don't have a lot of money to spend on myself like that. But I did go to a Goodwill just a few weeks ago and bought myself a few things, and it really is fun to just have some new clothes just because it feels like I'm just treating myself. And I think that's part of why I love The Sims and I love CC shopping, is because I can curate an aesthetic for free because I can't really afford it in real life, but in The Sims I can have a perfectly aesthetic apartment and all the clothes I could want, and it doesn't hit my wallet, so. I feel like what really tied the thrift store together for me though was the wallpaper and the dirty carpet, because it just made it look so worn, and like thousands of items have come in and out of that store, and dirty shoes are always walking around on the carpet and they can't keep it clean. I think it just pulled everything together and made it feel like the thrift store has been around for a really long time. Like I said earlier, it's kind of a staple of the community, which is really what I was going for. If you guys know the video I made, my record store CC Essentials, that build I probably will also add into my save file. It's also a thrift store and bubble tea lot, and it obviously does have a lot of custom content, so I might have to turn it into more of a thrift store than a music store, just because we're limited in like record store items in the game. But I think that the build is super cute and I want to use it in my save file. I actually have a lot of builds for Oasis Springs complete already. I just tend to build a lot of community lots rather than houses, so the houses would probably be the thing I struggle with most, but I'm going to leave some of them unfurnished so that they can be move-in ready for your Sims or when I start a new household for gameplay, so that should help me because sometimes I get a bit fatigued when I have to furnish a bunch of houses in a row, especially without custom content, but I also think that once I have my households figured out for the lot, that will help me get inspiration for the furnishing. Because a lot of times if I'm building a house and I have no Sims in mind, I just have no idea how to furnish it, and so I don't, and then I just leave it. So I'll probably need to dig through a bunch of my save files and find old houses that I mostly completed that I can just add into my save file. I know I mentioned this before in another speed build, but I will be moving in June to another state because I'm going to grad school. So during June, my uploads might be a little less, but I was thinking that a good way to help with that would be for me to record myself working on this save file, whether it's doing more builds like this or making Sims for it. Honestly, I think that after I move, it would be so fun to try live streaming myself working on this save file and just chilling and chatting with y'all, but I have to see how much time I have because I'll definitely be busy with classes and being a grad assistant and working and making YouTube videos and just life stuff, so I wouldn't imagine that I could do it regularly, but maybe for an hour or two every once in a while when I have a free day would be really fun. especially because my current apartment, it is very noisy outside and very annoying for making videos, but I can kind of work around that a little bit when I'm, editing my videos, but a live stream, like, it would be way too loud to try and do it here. I am now working on the outdoor stage area, and I really like how this turned out. It's very simple, but there's a good amount to do out here. I put a dance floor and a DJ booth on the stage, and it's actually covered so it won't break in the rain. And I also put a keg out here and some tables, and there's a food stall if your Sims get hungry. And there's also a wall mural that your Sims can come paint, which I think is a really fun addition because I think that in a place like this, people would definitely be graffitiing a lot of the walls and stuff, so I really like that realism. I'm just going in now and adding in the finishing touches, so with that, I'll probably end this voiceover here. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening to me ramble about my future save file. I'm really excited about it, and like I said, this build will be on the gallery for you at SimGraze, and I'll put some screenshots at the end for you, and I'll throw in a few screenshots of some other lots in my save file that I've been working on. Just a little sneak peek so y'all can get the vibes, but yeah, anyway, thanks again for watching, and I'll see y'all in my next video.